The elements. Frequently used in combat by many fictional characters. One of which, being ice. Keep in mind that this is part 3 of 2 other battles. I highly recommend you watch those first. For this battle, we have more ice users battling it out to find the most powerful. So let's introduce the fighters. The roster includes Sub-Zero, Mr. Frosty, Everest, Captain Cold, Freeze Man, Frozone, Grateful Buster, Nana, Shoto Todoroki, Death, Glaceon, Snowcone, the Ice King, and Aokiji. There's a lot to cover, so we're gonna review each character briefly, otherwise we'd be here all day. So whose ice freezes the coldest? We'll see, because only one can survive in the arena of death. We have 14 fighters to go through, so let's summarize them quickly, starting with Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is a heavily skilled assassin and grandmaster of the Lin Kuei. Sub-Zero can create weapons out of ice such as swords, daggers, hammers, and more. He can shoot ice as a projectile attack, as well as create an ice decoy of himself that'll freeze opponents on contact. Sub-Zero is capable of surviving heat of over 3000 degrees, and can chop through solid diamond. Mr. Frosty is a recurring mid-boss in the Kirby series. He has the appearance of a tuskless humanoid walrus. He normally attacks by charging at his opponents or launching snowballs at them. He is also able to belly flop on them, and create a bouncing snowman. If he gets close enough, he can actually swallow his enemies. Mr. Frosty is strong, but lacks variety. Everest is back and ready to go. This husky is the snow pup of the Paw Patrol. After living most of her life in the Arctic, she joined the team to help others. She does this using special gear and abilities. Her pup pack has a rocket-powered snowboard and grappling hook. Her jetpack helps her fly at Mach 30. As a mighty pup, Everest can breathe ice and walk on lava. Everest may be powerful, but she isn't much of a fighter. Lucius Best, aka Frozone, is a close ally of Mr. Incredible. He creates ice and snow using the moisture in the surrounding air. His ice blast can encase an opponent, and even stop a bullet in mid-flight. He can even use this to create a sheet of ice on the ground to skate on. He's capable of turning a field of water into snow, and his special boots allow him to walk on ice without falling. Frozone's power is able to stop a huge cruise ship from crashing, but he can't use his power if he is dehydrated. Simon Petrikov, better known as the Ice King, is a deranged wizard who kidnaps princesses to try to marry them. Normally, the Ice King is non-violent in nature, but he is very powerful when he gets on the battlefield. He can create snowstorms and ice mountains, fire ice attacks, fly, turn invisible, and has an ice variant of ninjutsu. The Ice King is even able to use a power called Wizard Eyes to see different planes of existence. The Ice King may be powerful, but he is mentally insane. Grateful Buster is the friendly rival of Natsu. He used to be rather reckless, but became more cautious over time. Gray has numerous moves formed by his ice magic. His ice make ability allows him to not only create ice, but also shape it into objects like cannons, swords, or even sculptures. Gray can also create ice lances, huge walls of ice, an ice shield, ice geyser, ice prison, and even create large knights out of ice. But his Ice Devil form gives him more abilities such as Ice Devil's Rage, and Ice Devil's Zeroth Destruction Bow. Death is the leader of a group called the Jaegers. She is a highly manipulative and barbarous sadist who lacked empathy for those she deemed weak. She possesses a powerful taiga called Demon's Extract. With it, she can manipulate ice and mold it from nothing. She can create icicles, freeze people to death, and freeze an entire lake within moments. With Mahaptama, she can freeze time. With the Ice Cavalry, she can create an army of ice soldiers. These moves are her trumps cards. If she uses her taiga on a massive scale, she'll be unable to use it for a while. Nana is the partner of Popo. Together, they're known as the Ice Climbers. Nana spends her time climbing mountains of ice and fighting predators like polar bears. She wields a large wooden hammer, can jump very high, and is capable of shooting ice from her glove. Her clothes allow her to travel through cold areas safely. She may be a skilled explorer, but she is merely a child, and she won't have Popo by her side. Next is the ice evolution of Eevee, Glaceon. This Pokemon can control its body heat at will and create snow around itself. A wild Glaceon can be a very skilled hunter. They have numerous ice-type moves such as Ice Fang, Ice Shard, Blizzard, Frost Breath, etc. But Glaceon is also capable of using other types of moves like Hyper Beam, Water Pulse, Shadow Ball, Double Team, Giga Impact, Rock Smash, Swift, and more. These moves are not only able to inflict damage, but some of them can raise Glaceon's stats, or lower their opponents. Glaceon is powerful, but it is weak against Pokemon types like Rock, Steel, Fighting, and Fire. Next is Dr. Wily's Ice Robot Master, Freeze Man. This robot was originally built as a prototype robot for non-polluting energy before being modified for combat. He is capable of using his former energy source to attack with his Freeze Cracker. This attack creates icicles, freezes the ground, and creates snowflake-like projectiles that explode into smaller shards and spread out. Freeze Man may not have a wide variety of moves, but he is quick and strong enough to keep up with Mega Man. Who knew Snowman could be scary? Snow Cone is a large snowman and one of several bosses in the FNAF World game. He attacks by tackling his opponents, or he can fire a barrage of snowballs at them. He's also capable of stunning them with a jump scare. With the Water Hose, he can kill any opponent under 30% health. The Toxic Bite is a move that temporarily poisons his foes. The Escape Key is his most powerful attack. It can instantly kill an opponent with one strike, but the chance of that working isn't all that high. As a child, Shoto got burned by his mother, leaving a scar around his eye. In the world he lives, everyone has superpowers called quirks. His is called half cold half hot. This is because he has the powers of both his parents, fire and ice. He can create giant glaciers of ice, and huge blasts of fire. However, if he uses too much of one power over the other, he'll either burn himself or freeze himself. Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold, had a terrible childhood and abusive father. This led to him eventually becoming a villain, and a sworn enemy of the Flash. Using a stolen cyclotron, he created a gun which shoots ice that can reduce temperatures to absolute zero. Snart can throw people through stone walls, and formulate plans with his high intellect. His suit is designed to withstand his own extreme cold temperatures. Captain Cold may be skilled and smart, but he is still an ordinary human. And finally, we have Aokiji, also known as Kyuzen. He is a former admiral of the Marines, who currently works with the Blackbeard Pirates. Using the Devil Fruit, he can create, manipulate, and turn into ice. He can even create ice swords, bypass intangibility, and cover his body in ice. Aokiji can fight for 10 days straight, freeze foes with a single touch, and withstand attacks from Luffy. However, like other Devil Fruit users, he can't swim, and he will be immobilized if more than half of his body is in water. Overall, all of these fighters are true forces to be reckoned with, but only one can be the coolest.
So it comes down to this. You three are all that remain in my way of complete domination. You all honestly believe that your ice abilities are enough to defeat me. I was built for these sorts of things while you are all limited in variety. By this alone you have no hope for recovery from my might?
I'm icing your fire. I'll make a fridge out of you. This is war.
Well, there you have it, one of the coldest and merciless deaths on this show. You're welcome. With that, Freeze Man wins this free-for-all for both very obvious reasons and kind of not so obvious reasons. Before we do so, let's go over the ranking of the characters from the weakest to strongest here. Some characters have obvious spots while others don't, so let's explain them all quickly. There is very little need to go into detail about the bottom three. Nana quite literally has no ice powers notable to discuss aside from slapping a minuscule iceberg-shaped piece of ice across the ground. Even though she scales up mountains for a living with a comically large mallet, busting thin ice platforms, she has absolutely no notable feats to speak of. This also goes with durability, speed, intelligence, absolutely nothing at all. Her only chance is to magically get smash scaling, then she gets the top spot. Other than that, she gets the bottom placement. Frozone and Snowcone are also in the bottom three due to them having the lower end feats compared to everyone. Their ice powers are very basic and fail to reach scales above building level, to which everyone else triumphs over. The only reason why Snowcone is above Frozone is because even though he holds a speed and experience advantage, Snowcone holds a higher durability edge and his powers actually extend beyond ice, to which Frozone has no counters for, such as being one-shot or debuffed. Next up is Sub-Zero, which is a surprisingly low placement. but ultimately this heavily depends on where one would scale Mortal Kombat. Yeah, there are universal to multiversal feats that happen in MK that get some of the god tiers incredibly high, but to say everyone equally scales, including normal humans, is a stretch beyond stretches. Such generosity would be too giving. Sub-Zero is one of those characters that would not fit in that category. This leaves him with building level power, and hypersonic speeds. He holds a significant edge with skill amongst most of the list. In fact, out of all 16 characters, he would place at least in the top 5 of the most skilled. His ice powers have a lot of variety to them, and how he utilizes them is much more unique than most characters here. His fault is on the stat gap, unfortunately, so despite having great speed and skills, he doesn't have much that can get him higher. Captain Cold is weird but quick to explain placement here. He is actually the lowest when it comes to durability and physical power, so why is he higher than Sub-Zero? Quite simple actually, he is a lot smarter. His ice resistance negates any lower tier ice control, and his tech actually grants him the third highest attack potency, as his technology can generate ice that can threaten to freeze the planet, and take on the likes of Superman, The Flash, and Wonder Woman. So despite physically being the weakest, his tech gives him a giant boost and his intellect gives him grounds to stand on, but it can only get him so far. Mr. Frosty has the opposite issue. While he possesses power that would normally get him higher, he is severely lacking in variety. With no notable intellect to talk about, the most basic ice moveset you can think of, and only power and speed to boast about, even with multi-continental with relativistic speeds, his severe power diversity leaves him open to being abused by anyone smarter, having far better diversity, and having the biggest issue that his potency being reliant on scaling rather than having any direct feats. Everest is next. The reason she is higher is because despite the huge power, she is fortunate enough to be faster with Mach 30 speeds and faster than light reaction speeds, and is capable of utilizing her strategic mind far more effectively. Her ice compared to the other pups should be similar to a meteor halting feat that came close to devastating a city, which would be between mountain to island level. Her ice also has much more utility overall, and she can use them to both aid herself and go on the offensive while exploiting everyone else's shortcomings. Even then, everyone above her simply has more to offer, since everyone else has ice powers that exceed the conventional idea of what ice manipulation is. Shoto is the all-around fighter here, a jack of all trades. His power potency is incredible, rivaling Everest even, that along with his relativistic speeds allows him to place higher. Along with that, he has shown a great prowess in his skills and battle intellect, being one of the most skilled heroes in his universe, alongside Deku. He also has extremely creative uses for his ice powers, so while basic in nature, he found ways to utilize them to their max potential. Despite that, he doesn't excel in any category, he's just above average in most. Which, while very good, can only get him so far. Ice King to quite a shock places 6th in the ranking. Surprisingly, the Ice King's best abilities are actually outside of his ice arsenal. As a wizard, he has access to all sorts of magic that allows him to get an upper hand on several levels, such as mind manipulation, sleep manipulation, illusions, etc. Otherwise, his ice powers are mostly just above average. A notable thing he can do is freeze lightning. His best feat is cooling down the entirety of the Fire Kingdom, which covers a landmass akin to an island. That, along with FTL speeds via space traversal, allows him to place really high. Alas, his biggest faults is his fragility, mental state being completely deranged, and lack of competence. These factors make it unlikely he'll ever place higher. Now for the top 5. These characters showcase abilities that many others lack, use better, or outright are superior in. Their arsenal evolves past the norm and are either extremely wide or incredibly potent. With that, let's get into Glaceon. This was somewhat shocking, but after looking into the objectively second best evolution right under Umbreon, #ChangeMyMind, it's very clear why they placed so much higher. Glaceon possesses some of the best ice resistance among anyone else who relies on typical assumptions aside from the few that state they do resist it. Both of Glaceon's abilities, Snow Cloak and Ice Body, granted huge advantages in snowy conditions, which can provide higher evasion and passive healing. Glaceon's arsenal exceeds ice manipulation. They can use Shadow Ball, which can lower special defense, Water Pulse, which can confuse others, Copycat to copy attacks, Charm to debuff among other debuffs, Calm Mind to amplify their power, Sand Attack to blind and lower accuracy, Mirror Coat to deliver back twice the damage they have received, and much more. Scaling Glaceon to other Pokemon would put her at the lowest end to City Vis Dragonair being able to nuke cities, to Mountain via scaling to Pokemon like Machamp and Tyranitar, all which can dodge light-based attacks. The icing on the cake is Dynamax. While temporary, it allows Glaceon to drastically amplify its power to the point of summoning entire storms and hailing down massive ice shards that can devastate entire islands. The only reason Glaceon isn't any higher is because everyone else above also has higher stats, an ice resistance and a higher skill gap. Number 4 is Aokiji, arguably the second most skilled fighter here. His ice manipulation is devastating, utilized to bypass durability, freeze the air itself and obliterate anything that has a semblance of water in it. His body can reach temperatures below zero and even control his body to become ice or a pure mist of freezing air. His control over ice is incredibly creative and the third highest when it comes to utility. With his higher power and FTL plus speeds, control over the weather and sheer skill level, he placed 4th, just shy of who took 3rd place. Next is Gray. Despite being slower than Aokiji, his use of ice is unique, similar to why the Ice King's magic is so good. It's powered by magic. Its utility is also incredibly high, offers a lot more perks and spells that can shut down just about any other ice user here. He can seal others in magical ice, absorb their ice, passively heal from ice and close by magic, erase minds somehow, empower himself, and so much more. His magic offers too much utility that anyone below him will outright suffer aside from one other magic user. He isn't just rocking magic utility either, his scales above many other characters in Fairy Tail who have proven to be multi-continental to even planetary threats. This allows Gray to place 3rd. Second is Esteth. Everything that was said about Gray applies to her, but better. You thought using ice to erase minds was crazy? Well, how about using ice to freeze time? Yeah, good luck explaining that. While technically having less utility in her arsenal compared to Gray, she makes up for it in a lot more potency. Her combat skills far exceeds anyone on the list. Her ice abilities are far too useful and allows her to completely obliterate any of the lower ranked fighters, is the second strongest character here, and despite not having the highest speed, she counters it with time stop. Looking at Gray versus Esteth by itself, we can understand that she takes him in power, intelligence, experience, skills, and hexes, while Gray has speed, utility, and a wider arsenal. Applying that logic to everyone else, and it's safe to say she still triumphs over everyone, except one. Freeze Man takes the top spot, for the most obnoxiously on-the-nose reason. Compared to everyone, his ice isn't that unique, even with his weapon being able to freeze anything to -200 degrees Fahrenheit. His arsenal really just consists of ice only, and his skill set can only be compared to Mega Man X and other bots like him. So why is he number 1? Well, that's simple. He outstats everyone so hard that anything else is completely irrelevant. The gap between planetary to solar system is so wide that it becomes pointless to discuss anything else. The speed gap from faster than light to massively faster than light plus is too large to not notice, and giving Freeze Man any Archie comic cross-scaling would just be rubbing salt in the wound. So yes, Freeze Man takes the victory through raw sheer power and speed alone, even without any super cool abilities, strategies, or notable intellect. The gap in power just makes it obsolete. Quite a cold end to this fight, isn't it? The winner is Freeze Man.